Good morning, investors and traders. This is Modified Darvas Box with a weekend review. Uh, didn't have one yesterday on Saturday. Things have been really busy, but doing it today here on Sunday, November 17th, and it's almost 10 a.m. and looking forward to this weekend review because we've got what's becoming a split market where the stuff that's working is working, but there's some worrying signals where a lot of other stuff is signaling, yeah, we're stopping working and it's not going to work. So you've got winners and an increasing number of potential losers and some bearish signals. So uh, I think you're going to see in this video a real split between winners and losers. I guess that's the best way to put it. All right, before we get into it, just for anyone who's never watched one of my videos, I'm an independent trader investor. I created a unique trading system based on the book How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market. Uh, and I've also added other elements and concepts from other strategies, a lot of from the strat strategy as well. My charts have colors, and the colors are really are signals. Signals mean something like, for example, these light grays are inside bars. An inside bar is a valid trading signal. Many people think they're using valid trading signals, but they're not. Like drawing a trend line. That's not really a valid trading signal. That's simply a 50-50 proposition. A valid trading signal is something where you take it's a signal where you can take action on the bar afterwards, which is the reaction to the signal. And it's kind of amazing how most people don't see this, but I've been doing this for many years, so that doesn't surprise me. Um, but on my system, yeah, I use boxes, which are also called bases. They're just framing tools. But what we're really doing is looking for the signals because the market will tell us ahead of time what to do. And it really all comes down to interpretation chart and becoming a good chart reader. So I think we got lots of examples in this video to go through because we have lots of signals to look at. And signals are just signals. What we trade is the reaction to the signals, the bar afterwards. So buckle your seatbelts and we'll get into it. I have 6 different lists that I'm constantly moving stocks around, but we're going to concentrate only on the top on these 4 ones that actually have signals. So first is the overview, which is indexes, what's going on. All right, I always start here with the MLP index, and I see sideways with a little upwards nudge. Oil and gas might be making a little bit of a comeback here. Okay, perfect chart here for interpretation and also for seeing the color bars in action. Different colors. Yellow is a bullish bar. Blue is bullish. But these two are slightly different from each other. Blue, the reaction many times is a red pullback reaction. However, it's the stock market, so not always, because you see blue and a green there. Pinks are the same as blue, except inverted with a more bearish tilt. And then these not pink, orange bars right here, those signal hammers and shooters. A shooter is an inverse hammer. Hammer bar, if you're learning to trade, if you only trade hammers, only buy hammers, you can consistently make a lot of money. That's pretty much what I would advise anybody new. Only buy hammer bars right there if they trigger the next week. This one here did not, but then blammo, it took off here. But this is a chart of arc. I really only use this to show color bars. So, but a good example of the market, 2 weeks ago it took off, and now this week, yeah, it pulled back and sold off on a lot of volume. Apparently, investors are taking profits. That's profit taking. And we're going to see that there was a lot of profit taking in this past week. Very interesting. This here is BZJ, a proxy for oil, and you can see sort of sideways down, but maybe getting a little tick up there. Interesting. All right, more relevant here to all of us is the Nasdaq, and here's a perfect example. We got signal, 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 all bullish. A signal that's sort of bullish, but can expect maybe a pullback, and it did with a bearish sort of pink bar. Then the election happened, boom, with a box breakout, big volume. But look at this week. No, man. Sell it. Take profits. Sell it down. And this volume bar, wow, pretty big red there. Now, this is just an index, so where they get the volume, it's best to confirm using other symbols. But look at that. It's not a breakout failure, but it's a lot of people potentially selling into this rally. Ethereum, there was a bearish signal, but then, the election. Was the election rip just a big short rally rip? Short covering rip? It might have been, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, hanging in there. FFTY, there's the election rip, but you see the volume. Much bigger volume on the sell side as the enthusiasm fades. Still positive though, but fading enthusiasm. I guess maybe that's the right topic to call, fading enthusiasm. China, see, clear signal right there. That's a shooter bar. It triggered to the downside. Honestly, anybody who piled in after China is just, well, you may have made a mistake. What's his name? David Tepper, the big hedge fund manager. He's pounding the table. You got to get long, generational. Yeah, okay. The volume says you're wrong. Buy, 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 sell. And they scream sell way louder than any of the buys. And now look at it. The thrill is gone. And now here, the signal. Yeah, man, I don't think this is working. Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to get out of this. And boom, now it's down. So that's how you read a chart. Gold, the thrill is gone. Look at this. Sell, sell, sell. There's your signals right there. See how the market tells you what to do? All you got to do is interpret this stuff properly. And I'm not saying that every signal is clear as day, but that's pretty darn clear right there. Junk bonds, yeah, going sideways, a little pressure there, not too bad. Insurance, got this in the family trust. Insurance, has anybody gotten a reduction in their insurance bill? Nope. Insurance going higher. I bet for Bitcoin. Yeah, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, Bitcoin, people are so excited. I love it. But yeah, this is very strong breakout right here. Big green, big green, big green. Can't argue with that. Oh, software. Okay, bearish signals. That is a bearish shooter bar. Look how much volume it occurred on. Huge volume. You think they were taking profits selling into the rally? Yeah, they were. But we're going to judge this bar on the action on this upcoming week. See, we don't know if this is a valid, top bar. It probably is. But if the reaction is it keeps going higher, well, then that just shows that their demand is a lot bigger than anybody thinks. But we don't know until this week occurs. But when you start seeing all the signals piling up, signal here, back to the NASDAQ, big sellers here, it starts painting a picture, an overall picture. Home construction going sideways, and this big move right here is sort of fizzled out, in my opinion. Microcaps, the big election breakout, and then the big pullback. Nope, let's take it all back. And volume sort of even, but you see, when you get big green followed by big red volume, that usually means the breakout's going to stall, or it's gone as far as it's going to go, or it's going to have trouble in the future. Trouble in the future? Possibly. Green followed by bigger red. Trouble in the future. Green followed by bigger red. Trouble in the future. If you read volume like that, I swear you're going to improve your results. IWM breakout with the pullback, not as bad as the others, but we'll see what happens. This one's interesting. Healthcare. I don't have any of this or anything in the family trust, but look at that. Sell down here. The volume's okay, but look at this. Talk about an election loser. Not much of a bump on the election, and then barf. What is going on with healthcare? I don't even know which stocks are in this. Let's see. Oh, this has got a lot of healthcare stocks, but dang. Down. Look at that. That's ugly. Transports. Signal, big breakout on the election. It didn't pull back in as much. Maybe the economy's doing a little better, getting a little bump. Equal weighted index on the NASDAQ. Yep, there's the election bump and there's the take back. QQQ, election take back. And interesting, volume is low on the Q, but it was a little above, it was bigger. The volume selling this week on the Qs was bigger than the buying the prior week. That's all you need to know. That's potential confirmation. RSP, election, bump, pullback, no, not too bad. Nothing to worry about on that one. I don't see anything to worry about here. Yeah, you know what? Like I said, blues, there is a tendency for the pullback. Okay. But there's a big difference between this one versus, healthcare. Big difference. Short-term rates going down. That means bonds are selling off. Now here's the interesting one. Semiconductors. White bar sell signal. That's an outright sell bearish signal on semiconductors. Whether it follows through, I don't know. We'll see the reaction to this signal. But this signal is telling you something's going bearish in semiconductors. S&P 500. Oh, one thing that's going bearish in here. Who do you think is in this? NVIDIA, perhaps? Right here. So we know here from the top view, semiconductors is running out of gas big time. S&P 500, same as the other ones. But look, a lesser of a selling week. Well, that means, between the NASDAQ and the S&P, I take the S&P. SPY confirming that. Sentiment, it's going down. Look at this last week. This is all sentiment. Stocks above the 200-day, sort of nothing crazy. Above the 40-day, nothing crazy. Solar. Ha ha. Look at this. Glug, glug, glug. Down she goes. Looks like a ship that got torpedoed, huh? If you're looking for bear bets, at the moment, semiconductors and solar stocks. If you want to hedge, that's what I do. I hedge by shorting weak stocks. That's how I hedge my winners. And you'll see I have made some shorts. What do you got? TLTs here. Just a bearish. Nothing's improving here. The only good thing that I see is that it had this bullish signal this week from the election, and it didn't outright fail, by failing at the lows. But overall, this doesn't look good. The bond market is not happy. The VIX, it came down a bunch, but who knows? REITs, nothing there. Home builders, more sideways. The thrill looks like it's gone. Uh, XLE, energy, oil and gas going up. Look at that. Two yellow bar buy signals in a row. Both are box breakouts. So if you're going to be bullish on anything, renewed bullishness, yeah, maybe oil and gas is going back up. I don't know what's going on out there. Financials, blue, not much of a pullback. Look at that. Interesting. Utilities starting to go sideways. Now, notice here, I'm able to draw a box, but because I believe, well, we got a high, and I believe this low is probably going to stick this week. And because of that, I'm willing to draw a box early. It looks roughly accurate. But utilities at one point was the hot sector. Now look, it's cooling off. Nothing bearish though, just cooling off, that's all. Okay, list two. Textbook box breakout leaders. Let's see what we got. So, this one, AOI, it had the box breakout here. Now, it's still on this list because it keeps going up. It almost fell off the list here, but blammo, the election, what a move. I had it here and I sold here. I thought I was being safe and prudent and smart. Yeah, I'm as dumb as everybody else. Because look, otherwise I would have held and captured all this move up here. Oh well. Affirm. Box breakout. Look at it. It keeps going up. Buy now, pay later. Ugh. But, they must be making some money. Okay, Amazon. Box breakout here. Pullback. There's that red selling. But it didn't break or violate this breakout. So, yeah, it's still in effect. But you see the caution that's coming up? When you look at the volume, caution, caution. This one here, look at this. The breakout way back here, the big move here. Yeah, there was a lot of selling here, but this range, look how thin it is. There were big buyers soaking this up. I mean, normally I'd be a little concerned, green, red, but the fact that this range is really small makes me think all those sellers, this thing's probably going higher. Oil, energy, BKR, box breakout here, moving higher. The blonde, box breakout, well, the pullback, but doing okay. The bros, look at this breakout. I didn't see this coming. Breakout, a little bit of pullback, nothing special. And look, the volume differential. Oh, yeah. If this one pulls back a bit more, it could pull back all the way to 43 and still be, I'd be looking at a pullback buy on it. And actually, if we're lucky, if you are bullish, having it pull back to like 43 would be a godsend. In fact, let's make an alert. A price alert. By the way, my program here is TC2000. It's a wonderful charting program. Check it out. I've been using it for decades. 2 decades, I think. 20 years. It just works for me, and you can do a lot with it. It's a very powerful program. This one keeps moving higher. Not the easiest hold, but if you believe, hang on to it. Box breakout, moving higher. And remember, this list is full of winners, so you should expect to see, moving higher. Blammo, election. Look at that, election results, higher. This one, took off even higher. I bought it in here. I sold it in here like a dum-dum. I thought it was prudent to trim before the election. Well, I was wrong. I should have held it. Well, is what it is. I've had some busy weeks, so, it's hard to get everything. JP Morgan, box breakout, moving higher. Financials, that's what's driving financials. MicroStrategy, boom, 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 higher, higher, higher. And remember, this list is the winners. Oracle, higher. PLTR, higher. I tried shorting PLTR just on a whim up here. That lasted all about like 1 day. I didn't even mark it. It was like, did it even happen? Roblox box breakout here, moving higher. Rubric, I do own this one, moving higher. Well, not this week, but Reddit moving higher. And the volume, even though it had this pullback, where's the volume? Volume's low. This is still quite bullish. This one, RKLB, I sold it here in the pre-market, and everybody gave me shit over it. And then it went up, like if I'd waited an hour or two, it then went up to here, and then spent the rest of the time selling down. Let's look at the 195 chart. Yeah. So I should have sold it here at like 22. If I had waited, I would have made some more money, but or maybe this is better. But it also went down to 17 in the 17, so I did just fine. Yet everybody gave me crap over it. It's pretty funny. And where did it close? Just a little higher. But that one's still bullish. But, I bought it here, sold here. That's a good trade for me. SE, I still have this one, box breakout. I got it here. First started buying back here. Then I got shook out here. What a pain in the butt. But, yeah, look at that. I'm doing fine. Shopify up, looking good. Spotify looking good. You see, the breakout was all the way back in here. Tesla. Tesla with the breakout here. Elon, boom, boom, two breakouts. But look at the selling volume. Isn't that interesting? Was that profit taking or something else? I don't know. But we're going to have to keep an eye on that because when you had big volume here and big volume here, when the reds are bigger than the greens, who's the smarter people? I don't know. URI, yeah, doing good. Came in a little, but volume's low. VST, breakout, little pullback, looking fine. Walmart doing its thing. The Wolf. Now this is interesting because I own this from right here. And if I go to a daily, ugh, look at that ugly pink bar. But you know what? That's where you got to decide what time frames you're going to trade on. I bought this off this weekly signal right here, okay? Weekly. So my core is weekly. If I flipped to the daily and said, oh, I'm out here, well, now I'm being inconsistent on time frames. And I've found in my long trading career that it's best to stay consistent. If you bought it off a weekly, sell it off of a weekly, if you can, if at all possible. Obviously, it would have been nice to have sold at like 9, but I wasn't looking to sell. So try and be consistent on your time frames. If you can, I've personally found that it helps. Okay, list 3. List 3 is bullish ones, but that are not that textbook box breakout. Now, A-Lab. Moving good, no real big signals. There was this signal right here, an inside bar, and it did trigger, and I took it. But again, being conservative before the election, I sold it up in here. And what does it do? Blammo. But then it's a blue bar. Blues have a tendency to pull back. It did. I don't really know what's going on with this. Is it going to pull back more? Is it going to start going back up again? Is it going to form a sideways base? I really have no idea. What's my edge? I don't have an edge. I don't see an edge. Is there an edge on the daily? Eh. Pink bar there. Meh. I don't see any signals. So all I can do is just watch and let this thing develop. Don't force a trade. You might love this company. Don't force a trade unless you got a signal. You know, that'll be good advice. It'll pay off, I think. Oh, the huge winner APP. It's so crazy. It's so high. I can't even believe it's at $95 billion. And if we look at I'm going to show you this in a second. If we look at APP's results, they did $1.25, and they did a nice. I mean, that's some nice sales. Excuse me. They're going to do 5 billion forecast in 2025, and they're at a 95 billion, almost 100 billion market cap. That's 20 times price to sales. 100 billion divided by 5, a little less than 20. Is this overvalued? Based on price to sales metrics, yeah, it is. But the chart says that they're still buying, so this thing's probably going higher. This here is a bullish signal. So the way we'll judge it is just draw a line across the top. Now, I'm not interested in trading it, but also you've got to be cognizant of the fact that if this low here is violated, then that may be your sell signal if you've owned it through all here. You see how proper interpretation of the bars? We got a bull signal here. We got, what's the low on this? The low is 263.26. Let's make an alert for 263. If that low is hit, well, that could be your signal to finally get out and take profits if you've owned it this whole time. So we shall see. Berkshire moving higher. Coin, there's the yellow bar, but this coin chart's kind of a mess, but it's still bullish. But look at that, closing roughly halfway in on big volume. For every buyer, there's just as many sellers in here. If you owned it down in here, okay, this is fantastic, you're doing fine. If you just bought it up in here, I would be a little nervous. Dash. Okay, this was a sell signal. The election negated it. But the problem is this is almost the same as this. So I don't know. I think I'd probably expect a pullback on that. DEX slowly moving higher. The only reason it's on this list is because signal, bullish reaction to signal. So far, so good. This one here, signal, boom, 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 boom. Stay long. There's no reason to punch out of this one. GM moving higher. Google. Now, Google had a signal here, another signal here, but then it came down. So you know what? This doesn't really belong on this list. I'm going to put it back into watching. Hood moving higher. Red, but followed by two strong greens. That's pretty good. But again, this looks like coin, not that bullish. Box breakout here, pullback. Oh, that's a negation. That's a little bit of a bearish signal. When a breakout fails like that, it shouldn't fail. Netflix moving higher, of course. NVIDIA, okay. I shorted some of this up here, and I'm very surprised at how it's done. I'm short at 148. Now, I did it because I'm looking for hedges. Yeah, this has got earnings coming up. I'm probably either going to reduce or just make sure that this can't hurt me if it's a giant gap up. But here's a problem for the bulls. Big greens all back here, big greens in here. In here we have reds. Volume keeps dropping. Price moves up higher, volume goes down. Did the bulls lose interest? Where are the bulls? Where'd they go? To me, this is a little ominous. So I may have shorted at the top, but I'm not looking to get. I look at shorts as an offset. I'm not looking to get rich off the shorts, but it's to offset and hedge and keep the profits that have been made. So far, that's looking like a good trade. I don't know. We'll see. This one, OKLO, pullback here. This one would be interesting because it will form a box, but I can see a potential top of the box here, but the bottom has a lot more work to do. Breakout with a pullback. Root. So far, so good. Still got this one. Moving up. Square. Look at this. 2 strong weeks in a row. A breakout here. Oh, wait a minute. This should be in list number 2. That's a box breakout. Upstart. Signal here. Green, green, green. Wow, election move. But yeah, now the sellers have started to show up. Interesting, huh? Has this peaked? Has this gone? Was this the peak? It may have been. This one moving higher, bullish. Bullish moving higher, but, a little pullback, nothing volume. And then the Zim moving up a little bit. I'm long this one. Nothing crazy on that, but, making a few dollars. Okay, the bearish signals. Look at the size of this bearish list. So the bullish list, it's thinned out a little bit. The box breakout list is still pretty big. So this is what I mean by it's becoming a split market. Winners and now the cautionary, either losers or the caution flags. And it just strikes me how there are so many on the bearish list side here. So that tells me, caution. And that's why I started putting on shorts, started looking for them. Up until, around the election, I didn't own very much. And now I see these sort of caution flags. So it's like, okay, let's go to sort of a half and half long, half short portfolio. That's usually what I do nowadays in my old age. I want longs, but then I also have shorts for a hedge balanced long short portfolio. Okay, here's the signal, Airbnb. That's a shooter signal. You should be nodding your head. Yeah, I see it right there. And it's triggered to the downside with some selling. Now, I don't really know what's going on Airbnb, but here it had this box, some negative signals. It had the box breakdown, recovered, and now it's telling you the signal again. Yep, we've come far enough. Time to go back down again. What it's going to do, I don't know, but that doesn't look bullish. Oh, this one, AEHR. Box breakdown here, and now it's moving lower. This one can't get out of its own way. AMD, pink bar warning. Pink bar signal is a warning signal. Pay attention. And look at that. It's starting to move lower. Remember, semiconductors flash the white bar sell signal. AMD is part of this group. Do you see any big green buying bars? When was the last big one? Well, I would say probably back in here when it topped. Sure, we had this one here, but it immediately got some red. Here's where optimists came in and were like, no, it's good, I swear. But the reality is saying, yeah, not really. ANET, I shorted this one because we had a very clear signal. We had a multitude of stuff going on. And the multitude of stuff is what helps raise the probability of success. We had a Darvas box formed. We've got a pink bar signal. Yeah, it didn't really do much. Then we get the bearish shooter bar. And now we get the downside, and it's a box breakdown. I'm short this one. But you see the setup? You see all the factors that are at play here? That's how you create your probabilities. Well, we got this here, we got this here, this here, and it's so close, the range is so tight. Sure, you could have shorted it at 380, but a good hedge. Volume was greater than the week before. They've been selling this. Now, does this mean this is going all the way down here? I have no clue. But this is how you find, you know, stuff to trade within the context of your overall portfolio. Now here, AOSL, this had a box breakdown here in big red, but look at this, the bulls stepped up. This one is interesting. It's a bearish pattern, but this bar, the buyers came in and said, whoa, 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 whoa. You guys may have called this one wrong. So I'm going to move this to bullish signals. It's both bearish and bullish, but that's worth keeping an eye on because this combination of volume, that's bullish. We're selling it. We think it's awful. And then the bulls on the sideline said, you're selling it. Are you insane? This thing is awesome. And to prove it, we're going to open up our checkbook, open up our wallets. When they open up the wallet is when you want to pay attention. Okay, next, ARM. I shorted some ARM here because it's tied to NVIDIA and, the ARM looks worse. Signal right here. Yeah, look at all the chop. Chop, 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 chop. But it then lost that moving average. The weekly, I hardly use that. And I just was throwing it out there looking for ones, and I went, well, I know ARM. I've shorted it many times. Shorted it here, covered here. Tried picking the tops here. It didn't really work. Shorted it in here, covered here. I mean, I've made more money shorting this one than I have long. So I'm used to it. So when I'm looking for shorts, it was easy to pick this one and just put it on. ASTS. Retail favorite. Fantastic signal here. Fantastic run. But then bear signal. Bear signal. And now look at this. Another shooter. How many shooter bars does it take before people get the hint? Well, I don't know. We'll see. But that's not bullish. Broadcom pulling back in. Actually, that's not really a box breakdown. It should be like that. You see, the box is still forming on this one. So actually, this one shouldn't even be here. I drew that wrong. But it's not looking... This is part of semiconductors. Just shows that weakness. Kava, that's a potential top. I mean, look at the selling. Were they buying or selling in here? They sold here and they sold here. Still an uptrend, but again, we'll see the reaction to this next week. If it goes from here, plop, back down here, okay, they were all selling. If it starts going back up again, all right, well, maybe the future is still bright. Box breakdown, moving lower. And this is the utility. This was the hot utility. Sell H. Okay. I shorted it here. I covered it here. Because, I mean, look at these buyers. However, look at that. After the buyers bought, this price keeps going down. It's a great example chart of, is this really a bottom? Everybody was calling this as a bottom here. Is it? Is it really? That doesn't look like a bottom to me. They keep selling it. Now, I feel a little dumb because I sold it here. It's a really great trade. But if I had kept it, I'd still be making more money. But I think the risk factor has gone higher. Happy to take the money and leave. Crocs, yeah, look at that breakdown, no good. Housing, white bar sell signal, yeah, and inside weeks, the buyer stepped up here, but price is coming down. Housing is not, the thrill looks gone. DJT, big selling, bigger buying. This one's just a hard one to figure out. Uh, ENPH, I'm short this one. Remember solar, the TAN? Do these charts look familiar? They sure do, don't they? Short, if you're going to short anything, short the weak. Buy the strong, short the weak. For solar, probably a lot stronger than ENPH, but look at this. It's getting a little sloppy in here. Maybe that's a short, maybe hard to say. Not as good as the other one. GH, bullish signal here, now a bearish shooter there. I've got this one on my long-term watch list. I want this one to go sideways for another 6 months as they develop their business. And then I just don't think it's ready now, but I'm keeping an eye on it. This one we know about, failed breakout. This one, pink bar, yeah. The buyers did step back in. We'll see how it reacts this week. And remember, you just draw the lines across the bottom or the top. We'll put it there and see what happens. Lockheed Martin, pink, pink, uh-oh. Red, red, uh-oh. Well, if the Pentagon can't find out how much money they're getting, how much are these guys getting? Well, that's bearish. Meta, pink bar signal. Oh, shouldn't have a box. But pink bar warning signal here. Again, you know the reason why it doesn't have a box? Because the bottom is still being formed. The top looks accurate. But pink bar warning signal, pay attention. ML, I own this one and I sold it on Friday. What is that? That's a bearish shooter bar. But this was a lovely, I started trying it here. Boom. Thank you, election. And now time to leave. But again, we'll see the reaction to this next week. Oh, I wish I had taken this one. Say, now that RFK is Secretary of HHS, if you'd shorted it here, boom, 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 boom. Down, down, down. I hope that's a zero. Microsoft, white bar sell signal, didn't really do much. Red, red, a little caution there. Net, bear shooter. NNE, oh, this one's so difficult, don't even try it. Now, there's that bearish shooter bar, bearish signals. Steel, white bar sell signal. PI. This one is, I sold this one. I bought it here. I sold it here. See, it violated the inside week low. So at that point, sell it. Qualcomm, I shorted this one. More semiconductors. Signals, signal, signal. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. Ferrari. Broke the box to the downside. Bearish. Rivian. Boy, what a dummy I was. I tried it, and it started failing immediately, and I kicked it. But bearish bars. Bearish signal. SMCI. Yeah, bearish. Shark Ninja. Well, this one's... Actually, you see, remember the volume? Big red. Big green. Now, there may be life to this. This one should go on watching list. Snow, yeah, there's a signal. I can't figure this one out. Stinger keeps going down. TEM, oh, look at this box breakout failure. Went from the low of the box to a breakout, and now look how much it sold off. Wild child. This is like an AI stock, just wild. And then TMDX. This one makes me laugh because everyone was like, it's selling down, it's bearish. It's selling down, and they're all posting on Twitter, oh, it's such a great value, got to get into it. Well, it's about to make new lows. God only knows how far down it's going to go. Guys, you got to wait, and this is bearish. Don't do it. And last, the Zeta. Ugh, barf. Breakout to something went very wrong. Thank God I don't own it, and I hope you don't own it either. Okay, we're at the list, end of the list. Let's show you the couple things I want to show you, then we'll wrap. This one I wanted to show you the sentiment, the NAM number. Sentiment's getting high, back to 91. From here, well, back to here. Might signal a short-term peak, perhaps. And then here, the latest S&P 500 earnings. So November 13th, latest numbers. Index is 85% reported. We closed at 58.70.62. Let's pull this up. What kind of a value does that represent? Well, let's look at this. The numbers, the estimates went down again a smidge, 0.17. If we back it up, this was the prior week. It dropped 1.19%. So now it dropped an additional 0.17. So estimates are being cut. And what does that mean? Well, there's price and then earnings. It's a simple calculation. How much is the index going to make, forecasted? And then what's the growth look like? And we're still growing at an average of 18%, but that's how much we're paying. As we can see here, we're paying a 29 PE, 27, 26 forecasted. If we look at the handy bubble chart here, or valuation, anything over 25 is a bubble in my opinion. So we're a little bubblicious, these actual quarters and the forecast. We're also a tad bubblicious on the forward PE. If these estimates get cut more, these numbers are going to get higher, and it makes the index just a worse value. If the growth rate starts coming down, well, then we've got bigger problems because this is going to start dropping. So 2 weeks in a row of forecast cuts. We will see what happens. Again, this is not a primary tool. This is just a know what you own, what's going on in the big picture. So thought I'd show you this just because it got cut again. And with that, that's the weekend review. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a good week. Talk to you soon.